Hey folks, hope you're doing well. This is an executive report on enVVeno Medical. The company just presented strong 2-year interim results from its pivotal study of VenoValve, their lead asset. And we think it's important to revisit the thesis around the timing of the upcoming FDA decision and the huge unmet need in venous disease. So we've got a lot to cover in this video, so let's get into it. We'll start with the product, then touch on the market niche and competitive landscape before finishing with financial due diligence and valuation. 1. Product value proposition. The lead asset here is VenoValve, a first-in-class surgical implant for patients suffering from deep venous chronic venous insufficiency, also known as CVI. This is a group of debilitating conditions that affect over 20 million people in the US alone with few to no viable treatment options. CVI results in venous hypertension and reflux leading to significant swelling, skin changes, and wound development in the lower extremities. The recent interim results from the pivotal SAVVE trial show that VenoValve provided at least a 3-point improvement in the RVCSS, which is the Revised Venous Clinical Severity Score. This happened in 83% of patients, with a mean improvement of 9.1 points. That's pretty staggering. Median leg pain was reduced by 74% and venous ulcers healed in over 60% of patients. Importantly, valve patency was maintained in 100% of patients over the 2-year period. Quality of life also markedly improved with greater physical mobility and reduced disability. We believe patient adherence should be very good given the magnitude of symptom relief and the fact that this is a one-time intervention versus lifelong conservative management or compression therapy. Overall, we see a very compelling product profile with strong clinical support. 2. Market niche and landscape evolution. enVVeno targets a large and growing patient population suffering from severe deep CVI, including nearly 1.5 million people with active venous ulcers. These patients are often debilitated and underserved. In fact, the current economic burden of advanced venous disease in the US alone exceeds $4 billion annually. Yet despite this huge patient population and burden of disease, technological innovation in this field has been slow. As such, VenoValve fills a major gap. It's the first dedicated surgical valve replacement targeting deep venous disease. And we think the recent positive data will help drive further adoption and pull the technology towards commercialization. 3. Competitive landscape. VenoValve addresses a large unmet need in venous disease and faces minimal competition. Abbott and Medtronic focus on stents and venous flow interventions, not deep valve replacement. Boston Scientific offers stents and thrombectomy systems, but again, not focused on the deep veins. Sonovine provides non-invasive therapeutic ultrasound systems for superficial venous disease, which is different from the target market here. Finally, AngioDynamics and Cardinal Health offer general venous access and ablation systems, but don't target deep valve failure. This leaves VenoValve as the only product addressing this indication with long-term patency and durability. Importantly, VenoValve directly improves the root cause of flow problems, unlike competing therapies that focus on superficial vein closure or stenting. The durability of VenoValve is another key differentiator. 2-year clinical data are rare for early-stage vascular technologies. And importantly, the 2-year results presented were interim, meaning they'll likely continue to improve. 4. Market access strategy. enVVeno plans to pursue FDA approval via a pre-market approval or PMA pathway, with a decision expected in the second half of 2025. This is in line with previous guidance and is supported by the robust clinical data presented today. We expect the company to initially focus on high-volume vascular and wound care centers as part of its commercialization strategy, and we believe that medical education programs for vascular surgeons will be critical to driving early adoption. Reimbursement will likely be a focus as well. And the company intends to lean on its clinical and real-world data to establish a CPT code and support VenoValve's classification under existing vascular procedure categories. We believe reimbursement dossiers will highlight reductions in ulcer recurrence, pain, and overall cost of care benefits, all of which support the use of VenoValve and should aid in securing adequate reimbursement. Looking abroad, the company has already initiated a Canadian regulatory submission, and we expect EU entry via CE marking in the near term, followed by local partnerships. The company is also onboarding global centers of excellence to support registry data and best practice dissemination. 5. Financial due diligence and valuation outlook. Turning to financials, as of Q1 2025, enVVeno had $38.9 million in cash and a quarterly burn rate of approximately $4 million. This suggests a runway extending through the FDA decision and into early launch activities. Beyond this time frame, the company should see revenue inflection with the potential for near-term profitability following a successful launch. Given the novelty of VenoValve and the lengthy approval process, we used a risk-adjusted, year-adjusted discounted cash flow, or DCF model in our valuation. In our base case, we project U.S. revenue of $50 to $100 million in year 1 post-approval and for $100 to $500 million in year 5, and estimated peak sales of $600 to $700 million. Applying a terminal value based on a 2x revenue multiple and using a 12% discount rate, we estimate a fair value per share of $3 to $4.00. In our upside scenario, which factors in stronger than expected market penetration, we see shares trading at $12 to $16.00. Our valuation is below current levels and reflects the risk profile of the name. However, we believe it significantly undervalues the long-term potential of a first-in-class solution to a historically intractable indication. 6. Commercialization timeline and economic catalyst integration. In 2024, enVVeno plans to continue monitoring the VenoValve pivotal trial participants, as well as publishing the 2-year data from the trial in peer-reviewed journals. The company will also focus on training surgeons in preparation for the upcoming product launch. In 2025, enVVeno expects a PMA decision from the FDA in the second half of the year and plans to complete launch readiness activities during the same period. In 2026 and 2027, the company will focus on its U.S. commercial launch and the expansion of its registry and payer data. Additionally, enVVeno plans to submit a new indication request for its end-trans catheter version. In 2028 and 2030, the company will look to expand globally, including Canada and the EU, and we expect revenue to begin inflecting during this time period. Ultimately, enVVeno's economic value creation will grow as more surgeons adopt VenoValve, as registry data confirm clinical outcomes, and as reimbursement becomes more stable. In summary, we believe VenoValve presents a de-risked, first-mover opportunity in a historically intractable indication. If enVVeno can secure FDA approval and execute commercially in line with clinical expectations, we think the company has the potential to unlock significant patient benefit and multifold return for investors over the next 5 years. Early stakeholders are well-positioned ahead of a major inflection point in vascular medicine. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of our latest videos. Feel free to add us on social media. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.